Hey, KU fans, welcome back to KU Sports Extra Time. I think it's season 3, if we're going by seasons, are we?
We are. Everything's by seasons.
Okay, so like summer, fall, season 3.
Well, season starts in the fall when the sports calendar starts, our season.
Okay, good point. So season 3 of KU Sports Extra. Tom, Keegan, Matt, Tait. Lots to talk about. We're going to get you caught up. We're a little late getting started. Tom, lucky enough to have his son married off. Oldest son, married recently, back east. Just real quick, congratulations.
Thank you. It was a great time. It was a time of my life.
Good.
I can't remember a 4-day string that I enjoyed more than that. It was
That's
wonderful.
awesome.
Kingston, New York, very near where the Woodstock concert happened. Woodstock concert originally supposed to be in Woodstock, but it was actually in some other small town very close to Kingston because it got so big that Woodstock couldn't handle it.
Awesome. Yeah, very cool. Well, the only bad news about your son getting married was that you are now still 0-13 covering David Baden teams.
Yes, that's true. And Benton Smith, as a game story guy, is 1-0 because he had a hernia surgery and missed the loss to Ohio. So I'm the bad luck charm. Benton Smith's the good luck charm. Don't you wish it were so easy that it's actually a case of luck?
No doubt about it. All right, well, let's get you caught up on fall sports happenings. We're going to start with volleyball, though, because, frankly, volleyball deserves it. Ranked 4th in the nation. They opened the season number 5 in the nation, so they bumped up a spot. They're 9-0, unbeaten, playing as well as ever. Really just picked up where they left off at the end of last season.
Very much so. They missed Tiana Dockery, and they're trying a number of players to see who emerges. So far, nobody has. But this team is 39-3 when you go back to last season, with all 3 of the losses to the 2 schools that played for the national title last year. Repeat, 39-3 with all 3 losses to Nebraska and Texas twice, and those were the teams that played for the national title. This is incredible dominance by KU volleyball.
There's a Final Four banner hanging at Horse Center right now. There's a All-American banner, which has 2 current players, Kelsey Payne and Anisi Havili. Cassie Wade is quickly moving her way up on the list of all-time great Big 12 volleyball players, especially at her position.
And Taylor Susie, an all-Big 12 player as well. What you won't find at the Horse is an empty seat. The entire season is sold out. Some season ticket holders from the past couldn't even get there because donors go first. That's the way it goes, and they gobbled up all the tickets, and there are none left. I'd like to see them build a venue that both women's basketball and volleyball could share, and then if you have big games for women's basketball, they get good, which I think they will within a few years.
Right.
Then you play them at Allen Fieldhouse, and you play other ones that you don't need to. Make it a tough ticket for both sports.
What'd you say, 4,500 seats?
4,500, I think it'd be perfect.
It would be cool. But either way, that place is always packed. This weekend, I mean, the volleyball team opened 5-0, and they hadn't lost a set. You know, that's sweeping all 5 matches to start the season. Remarkable stuff. Ray Bouchard's got it rolling. He's just so comfortable with this team, but also uncomfortable with just any of the superstitions or any of the tweaks that could happen. He doesn't really want to talk about how good they are. He's happy to tell you how talented these players are and how much he enjoys coaching them, but he doesn't want to talk 9-0. He doesn't want to get too excited about all that stuff.
No complacency there.
Right.
Very on edge, like most coaches, in terms of just wanting to get better and maintain and get better all the time.
Just go 1-0 at the next one.
Right, and his staff is right there with him, Bird and Todd being the main assistants. But it's a great staff, and it's a great bunch of young women, really smart women, and nice, and just incredibly competitive.
Yeah, they're moving their way up on the rankings of rock star status in this town too. People are starting to know who these girls are. They're starting to understand what this team is and how talented they are. Even if you can't get a seat, you can still follow along. We're going to turn up our coverage quite a bit and just enjoy the ride. It's a very, very fun program to cover, and they're very accommodating, which is awesome too. They play this weekend In Indiana, they play Purdue, which is ranked 14th. They play Xavier on Friday before that. But the big showcase of that whole event up there will be Kansas, number 4, against Purdue, number 14, Friday night. So exciting stuff. It's sad we can't be there, but we can't be everywhere. So where we will be, Tom will be, Benton will be if he can walk, is in Memphis, Tennessee, where the Kansas football team will look to bounce back from that disappointing loss to Ohio. Tom, a game I think they certainly could have and probably even should have won. It just was, even with the 25-0 hole, they got it back. They had it to 31-21. They had possession, they had the momentum, and they had plenty of time. Even starting off so poorly, they still could have and should have won that game, and it just didn't happen.
Well, they didn't play a clean game. There were 2 muff punts. There was a bad snap on a punt. There was, in the first half, wide open. Laquiviante Gonzalez made a great move to get wide open for what would have been a touchdown. Cozart overthrew him. Cozart had a bad first half, bounced back with a terrific second half, and then got injured and out of the game after basically just 1 quarter of the second half.
Yeah.
But he's their quarterback. He's established that. There's no quarterback competition anymore in my mind.
Totally agree.
And, Beatty's not going to say that. He doesn't want to give the game plan to Memphis, but
he doesn't have to.
No.
I mean, Memphis has real breathing football coaches.
They know who the quarterback is.
They can figure this out, yeah, and it's not hard. And
I'd like to see more scripted runs for Montel myself.
It'd be
take advantage of that.
Yeah, it would be, especially, if the game plan fits that. Obviously, it wouldn't have necessarily fit that against Ohio. The game plan was to go deep, and they didn't do it until the third quarter, and it killed them.
And I think against Memphis, the game plan should be more run-oriented. You have a young line for Kansas, unspeakably young. 8 of 11 players on the depth chart this week for the 5 positions are freshmen or sophomores. Everybody knows you have to have juniors and seniors on the line, and maybe 1 superstar redshirt freshman in there. But so it's going to be a while to get that line right, but you can't coach around that youth. You got to embolden them with confidence and say, look, you guys can do it. That's why we're playing you and not more experienced players. Not that there are a lot of experienced linemen on the roster, but and then you hand the ball to Keon Kinner, who had 113 yards against them last year. One of SEMO's running backs had 114 yards, a kid out of Wichita. His first name's Will. I'm blanking on his last name. He's out of a Wichita high school, then Highland CC. He ran for 114 yards.
Yeah.
Maybe SEMO's line is better than Kansas's, which is troubling, but it can't be a lot better.
Right, no, not at all. And that's the deal. I mean, Memphis hasn't shown much either. They played Southeast Missouri in the opener, and then had a bye week. So KU's got very little film. It's a new coaching staff. It's a new quarterback. There's a lot of new players. This team was very senior heavy last year. So it's going to be a challenge just to have personnel and packages identified for this coaching staff.
In 2 weeks to prepare for Kansas.
Yeah, that's scary on every level. What can you say about the importance of this game? I mean, it's probably a long shot that Kansas goes and wins it. Obviously, they're a 20-point underdog, and they've lost 38 in a row on the road, which is funny because you said 39-3 for the volleyball team. Well, 39 is right where that losing streak on the road sits for Kansas if they don't get it done this week. So,
including 3 neutrals against Missouri.
Right. Yeah, win or not. Just how important is the game for them to go show well and not just get the doors blown off of them? Because I think if they don't go compete, I think if they get beat 45-7 or something like that, you could see fan apathy go to unseen levels, and that's saying something because Kansas football and Kansas fans are kind of the standard bearer for fan apathy.
Yeah, I mean, if that happens, if they get blown out here, you might want to look into playing the volleyball games in the football stadium and the volleyball matches in the football stadium and the football games in the Horsch, because there isn't going to be a great demand for watching this football team, let's face it. And I think another thing you want to see is the offensive line do better than it did at Ohio. Couldn't do worse.
Right.
The middle of that offensive line was just getting pushed back all day long.
It'll be interesting. Tom and Benton will be there along with Nick Kruk. Bobby Nightingale and myself will be back here holding it down, just trying to make sure everything else runs right and watching on television, making sure that we catch up all this stuff. It's going to be a very interesting game. I think Kansas should expect to be competitive. I don't know if they will be, and I don't know if they can win.
It's this in the Iowa State game when Iowa State comes here are the best opportunities to be competitive.
Yeah.
And now every year Kansas seems to be competitive against TCU,
Yeah.
which I don't know why. I think it's great, but I don't know why that seems to happen. And seem to do okay against Texas Tech and sometimes Oklahoma State.
Sure.
So.
Yeah. And a lot of it will depend on the defense, but the offense has got to help the defense out. I mean, those guys played pretty well after a poor start against Ohio, but they can't be out there all day.
Right.
And even when KU's offense does well, if they score quickly, that almost can be detrimental at times because that defense goes right back out there. So it's a tough sledding right now for KU football, but that gets you caught up on all the fall sports action that's been happening, at least that people are talking most about. Basketball is right around the corner. There's been a lot of in-home visits and on-campus visits, and Bill Self and his staff are out there doing what they do, going after the top talent in the 2017 class and beyond. Boot camp, everybody knows what that is by now. It starts Monday, the 19th, and that's going to be a lot of fun for those new guys that have not been through it. Josh Jackson, I talked to him a little bit about it. I'll have a story about that here in the next few days. Udoka Azubuike is also going to be experiencing that for the first time. Mitch Lightfoot. It's always an eye-opener for those guys.
You know, Azubuike could really benefit from this. He's worked really hard at losing some weight since he got here. Conditioning will determine how much he plays because he's got the whole package.
Right.
He's the most thunderous dunker Kansas has had in terms of power since Thomas Robinson.
Yeah, for sure. And even that, his body's so much more just immense than Thomas Robinson's. I mean, Thomas still looked lean and athletic, and Udoka just looks like one of those guys that could just hang on the rim and bring it down.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see. But we'll have plenty of basketball stuff coming up. Right now it's volleyball season and it's football season, hopefully for a little longer.
Well, yeah, you gotta believe that
Turner Gill. Believe.
They'll do better than they did last week because Saturday they just got in their own way.
Yeah, well, check it out. KUsports.com all throughout the weekend for all your coverage of KU at Memphis, an 11 o'clock kickoff down there at the Liberty Bowl. It should be fun. We'll have all your coverage, and we'll see you guys next week for another episode of KU Sports Extra Season 3.